What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, here with another edition of Traditional Fans with Opinions, where I'll give my reviews for whoever I watched, read, or played today. And who are Traditional Fans with Opinions? That is myself, and that is you, the viewers. With all that being said, on with the reviews. Digimon Beatbreak, episode 35. So in this episode, Rena has like a self-confidence issue due to Pristimon not getting an ultimate. Um, Digi like Digi evolution. So yeah. So the target for going on is Bombermon. So yeah, sitting there in the whole search, Rena's self-confidence, the lack thereof causes problems. So she can't like be in the front, but eventually she gets self-confidence and Pristimon gets the ultimate perfect or ultimate form. And yeah, so she's able to so Young Zero to defeat Bombermon. Then yeah, so I thought it was a so then you have like so my hero's pissed about that, but she claims that you know that even though Bombermon lost, it was still successful. Um, which involves whichever car Juan was in, um, blowing up. Yeah. Mm. So yeah, Juan's like very high up there. So yeah, his car blew up. Whether or not it means he's dead, I don't know. See you next week. Yeah, that was a good episode. Looking forward to the next one. Coming to Brave, episode 22. So in this episode, so you have so a lot of files set up for like the final battle. So Yashiro and his students they fight like the other like some of the other thugs. So Jogamine beats like I mean like she's really injured, but of course with her like healing power she's kind of fine. But she's able to beat up her opponent. And then you see Yashiro's fighting like Levi, then Maruta, Tetsu, and the priest arrive. They help out, and then they kind of Yashiro kind of makes a bet with Maruto about who's gonna beat the Lord Storm Coffin first. It's kind of like a lighthearted, like they're lightheartedly joking. And Maruto says he wants beer if he wins, and Yashiro tells it to he got to careful. So then a bunch of Nephilim are attacking Maruto's group. So Yashiro and Jogamine, Sarah, and Indo they confront Lord Stormcoffin, fight her Storm Guardians, and are like surrounded. Like Indo's really hurt. Like she gets stabbed through the leg and then through like the chest or whatever. Don't know how if it's like a vital any like vital organs get hurt or whatever. Sarah gets cut on her shoulder by Stormcoffin. Jogomine's hurt. So like basically people get hurt. Like so now it looks like they're saying like the climax of this season or this show. So we'll see how it happens, how the rest of the show goes. But yeah, I thought it was a good episode. Looking forward to the next one. Daemons of the Shadow Realm, episode 11. So in this episode, um, so like in the little like foggy like realm, whatever. So Yoru's group finds this kid named Ken who calls himself Ken Takara Din. Ken basically. So first they're concerned that he is Dara's illegitimate son, and Dara starts asking, who's your mother? And he's like, okay, you're not my kid. And it turns out, Ken is Dara's half brother. So like his, so basically, so like Dara is so basically 10 years for Dara's father disappeared, or like before the show, Dara's father disappeared. Now I guess it was around time Yoru's parents disappeared, like left the village, and 3 years before that was when Ken was born. So Dara never knew that he had a brother. So then they take so they let the old lady go, and I guess she considers quitting the whole like mercenary thing. So Dara and Yoru take Ken with them. They explain the situation to Hannah. Now Hannah sees the yeah, like she first thinks that basically Dara was just womanizing gambling, where because she sees the cards from the Kagamoris from like the bar, and then so yeah, then they learn Ken has a bunch of money from like his and Dara's father. So, but they have no way of figuring out where the father's at, because he leaves like basically no trace. And so Kim basically starts staying with them. She becomes like the fake second child for Dara and Hannah. And it turns out he has a bunch of money. So let's just say Hannah's very happy about him staying because the kid has a bunch of money. And so yeah, so and you have Ken. He wants to find his father to tell him that his mother's dead, and he wants Yuri to find his parents. And obviously, you could tell kids dealing with, so I guess being alone, like a lonely 13-year-old kid. And apparently, he had tried to like make a contract with the Daemon, but the Daemon was evil, went crazy, but just wouldn't harm him. So Kid trapped the Daemon inside that foggy realm, and that's how he got there. So yeah, I thought it was a very good episode. So it was like this central group is expanding. We'll see what happens with like all these like other characters. But yeah, so yeah, I thought this was a really good episode. Looking forward to the next one. Mal, episode 11. So in this episode, Mal's asked by this lady to examine her son Shigeru, and while he's going to Kamon, like is doing all his stuff, he meets like the aristocrat's daughter, and it's real that that daughter's a walking corpse manipulated by water, and showing Shigeru is the same way. He's a walking corpse. So a Walker Shiigami named Mizuchi's like manipulating the two corpses, and so it made a trap for Mal. And so like the mother had to steal the Kadoku plot. Yeah, so and then basically Mal's able to beat Mizuchi, but Mal's really hurt, and Nako gets cut by the Shikigami, and her blood gets assigned Mal's wound, and it will heals Mal. So yeah, yeah. So then yeah. So now's hurt, Mal like carries her, and then yeah. So we see like the so then there's like some lady who seems to, I guess, be involved with stuff. Like who knows who she is? Yeah, dude, the stuff with like the corpse princess, the sugar, that stuff was definitely weird. We'll see what happens next episode with whoever that lady is. Looks like she's gonna be a major character. But yeah, I thought it was a good episode. Looking forward to the next one. Kusunoki's Garden of Gods, episode 11. So in this episode, so you see Miento Yamagami walking around. They see like kids playing with tops. Basically, it's like around I guess like around New Year's tradition, but I guess in the little shop they're walking by, it's same year long. So Miento Yamagami they decide to play some tops. And then, yeah, there's because you have the festival going on. Then you have all these other exorcists arrive. So, and then you have this one evil spirit like going crazy, whatever. So Yamagami tries to like fight off that spirit, and the episode ends with like the big battle. So, and it looks like he's weakened, and like so we gotta see what happens with you know, we gotta see like next episode what happens with this final fight. So yeah, I thought it was a good episode. We're getting close to the end of this series. With the next episode's title being the same as the actual show, I think it's safe to say the next episode is the last one. But yeah, I thought it was a good episode. Looking forward to the next one. Song of the Samurai, episode 6. So in this episode, so the Kondo faction attacks Nimi Nishiki and his men, and Hijikata was originally going to be the one to fight Nimi, like him and Soji Okido, but Saito Hajime says he wants to be the one to fight Nimi, so Hijikata agrees to switch with him and fight on the front lines. So during the battle, Kondo faction wins. Saito duels Nimi, beats him, and basically like so he cuts off two of Nimi's fingers and confirms about the poison in the sword when he like kind of like lets him see like he basically see how pathetic Nimi looks. He kind of says he's lost the drive to like try to kill him, so he kind of lets Nimi go, but Nimi says he's won. But then Saito throws a sword at Nimi's head, killing him. Basically, so Nimi and his men are dead, and the official story is that Nimi committed seppuku over like illegal fundraising, and so basically that betrayal is like kept secret. And Kamo gets more men, so you have Hirama arrives. So then Kamo's faction starts causing problems. So Satsuma, uh, so that like the Satsumas get pissed, the Aizus get pissed, and the Aizus say the only way to solve this is for either Kondo or Serizawa to die. One of them has to die, doesn't matter who. So then, so Yamami plans an infiltration mission to like assassinate Kamo. Hijikata, who's confronted by Kamo, he arrives to the meeting late. He says that Kamo wants to test them for not their true samurai, so they should like face them head on. Kondo agrees. So then he says, if they lose, he'll offer his head. So then see the episode ends. It shows October 30th, 1863. Um, which is the day that Serizawa dies in history, so they're setting up the assassination of Serizawa. Hey, of course, with in history, Ome, who's like his mistress, Hirayama is the other one that dies. So then, yeah, so then it's setting up like it's like so yeah, they're setting up the end game for all this. But yeah, I thought this was a pretty good episode. Looking forward to the next one. Disclosure Day. So this is a new Steven Spielberg movie. So World War III is about to start. Some cybersecurity guy who named Daniel Kellner who works for Vortex Corporation. It's like monitors like alien activity, like keeps aliens prisoners, reverse engineers, like tech. So like Kellner steals files, and so he goes on the run. His girlfriend Jane Blankenship. After Daniel frees Jane from Vortex, they flee and somehow are able to escape, get to like a convent that Jane previously stayed at. So then they go on the run, but Vortex CEO Noah Scanlon uses like some alien device to look through Jane's head, track him. Then Kansas City, a meteorologist named Margaret Fairchild, is preparing for work. Some colonel flies to the apartment, looks at her, and flies away. Margaret has some psychic abilities awaken. She can read people's minds, speak random languages. So basically becomes a new type who can speak in tongues. Yeah, like the Gundam new types. Yeah. Yeah, so Margaret during the live wire broadcast starts speaking an alien language. When Wardex learns about the footage and try to get her, but Margaret escapes the hospital. So Daniel shows all the files to Jane, which makes her believe in what's going on. So um, so then eventually Daniel's captured while Jane escapes with a device. Daniel's taken to a military base. Margaret uses her psychic powers to track Daniel's location and find him. And she uses some empath abilities to get everyone to stand down. Now Casper Boy, who's uninfected, rams the Carter into a train, but Daniel and Margaret will get on top of the train. So Wardex police who were whistleblowers, led by Hugo Wakefield, who Daniel's been working with, they sail to the warehouse, they reconstruct Margaret's childhood home. And so Margaret and Daniel awake suppressed memories of when they were abducted by aliens, experimented on. That's how they got their powers. Daniel's had his abilities since college, where he saw alien cardinal, whereas Margaret was more recent. So aliens take the form of animals to observe humans. so Margaret, Daniel, the whistleblowers break into the TV studio Margaret works at, make a broadcast called Disclosure Day. Vortex tries to shut the power, but Jane gives a device to Margaret, who restores the power with it. Scale's just screw it, so he decides to watch, and everyone else from Vortex leaves. And so a bunch of evidence of alien calendars covering cover-ups is broadcast to the audience, and the whole world war somehow just stops. Everyone just stops, just watch the broadcast. The alien says something to Daniel, who says it to Margaret. Then Margaret tries to deliver the message saying, listen. And that's it. Yeah, I did not like this movie. Beginning, I was like, okay, this could be interesting. But it's Daniel, some tech guy's on a field guy. There's only the agents just look like idiots. There's no way Jane and Daniel should be able to escape them. In a lot of movies where you have stuff like this happen, a lot of luck's involved. There's really that kind of luck here is just retardation. The fact that the empath stuff will affect people so much, I can't buy that. There's a reason, in Gundam, the whole new type thing doesn't work out as theorized. I mean, there is a reason. Now, I freaking hate new types in Gundam, especially UC. Now, after War, Gundam X actually did well. I mean, 00 did well with innovators. This movie has worse new types than UC Gundam. And UC new types is a freaking dumb plot point. And the fact that the agents just stand there and just leave, I was like, what the frick? Why? It's why? It's freaking stupid. The actors are fine. They do a good job. I think the whole thing's freaking stupid. I can't buy this. And the fact that the whole war just stops just because there's a broadcast. No. Not even real life. That wouldn't work. I can tell you that would not happen. And you might never watch it. Yeah, but and this was supposed to get into how religion would be effective. It doesn't even touch upon that. This should be a TV show with part of it focus on the lead up to Disclosure Day, part of it focus on the fallout. This didn't have the fallout, and it needed it. It didn't have an ending. So, and the aliens there weren't enough aliens. You could have had more aliens in order to sell that ending. It was stupid. And try to say the aliens are benevolent. They have empathy, but they abducted children. What part that makes them benevolent? Yeah, I can't recommend this. Well, that's it. Did y'all like the stuff I reviewed? And if you have your own opinions about all that, you put all that in the comments. Thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, and all that. And look forward to the next video.